Welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam.
Welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I'm Peter.
Okay. We changed the title. I don't know if I actually called it the correct title the last time we did this, because I had just changed it because of YouTube. There already is a show
I
with
don't
this
think.
name. I don't remember, because I was overtired at the time, too, so today we are going to be doing Star Trek Beyond,
Yep.
the newest iteration in the Star Trek franchise. This is the 13th movie.
Okay.
Uh, no, I was asking, is it?
I don't know. You like Star Trek more than I do.
Uh, that's like a varying degree of like just off zero. I've never been the biggest Star Trek fan. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'll watch the movies, but I'm not like deep into the lore of Star Trek.
Yeah, this is 13.
Okay. Because I remember they were numbered up to 10, and then 11, 12, 13 are 09 Into Darkness, and now this one, Beyond. Where it's going to be the first time they really do an original story in the new trilogy, because it's the first time J.J. Abrams isn't directing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because the first one kind of had an original story, but I don't really count that one because it was the reboot.
I like the first one.
The first one is very good. Into Darkness is Wrath of Khan light, but without, killing people. Even the villain doesn't die. So, what else is there? This one is going to be the first one. They're going to introduce a new alien race for the first time in a while.
And for some reason they have African accents, because Idris Elba is the bad guy.
Yeah. Idris Elba is the lead of the new race of aliens.
Maybe he filmed this at the same time he was filming Beasts of No Nations, and he wouldn't get out of from Beasts of No Nations, so that he had to have an African accent.
I mean, that sounds outlandish, but I don't know. I'm thinking it's just because they needed a villain for this movie, and they just Idris Elba is,
He'll bring. I think it's just because we had. It's a name recognition part of it, I think. And it's we had Benedict Cumberbatch, so now let's have Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Because Chris Pine isn't drawing anyone.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at when the original when this trilogy started, back in 2009, none of the cast of the Enterprise was well known. Chris Pine wasn't anything big yet. Zoe Saldana didn't have her first big movie until this, and the same year was Avatar. Then there was who else is in this movie?
Yeah, I didn't see this one, the first one when it came out. I waited a couple of years to see it, I think.
I saw the first one that came out. Anton Yelchin, who's now deceased, he was, and still is, not a big name. Same with John Cho. Zachary Quinto is known for his TV roles, and is also since known for his TV roles. And there was one, and then Chris Pine.
Who played Chekhov in the original one?
I don't know his name. Not Anton Yelchin.
It's Walter Koenig, right?
Right. That sounds right. Okay.
Do you want to do some podcast fun facts?
Sure.
Walter Koenig is Jimmy Pardo's father-in-law.
That's cool. So let's talk about what do we have else for this. There's also a special episode where we're at the halfway mark for the year. For Beware of Spoilers, because we only have a few more left in 2016. Not a good year for movies. Disappointing so far. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit more about that later, because we're going to rank what we've seen so far, and we've done on this show. We're going to do that toward the end of the episode, but we're going to talk about how that this has been a bad year. When The Witch, a horror movie, is in the contenders for a top movie, then it's not very good.
No.
Not disparaging The Witch. I'm disparaging the genre horror.
Yeah. I agree with you.
And the thing too, Finding Dory, Zootopia, and The Witch are the three strongest contenders so far. I mean, I'm not even counting Captain America, because, a lot of people are going to discredit, the same reason he would discredit Zootopia or Finding Dory right off the bat. because it's a movie where it's targeted toward kids, not like the edgy and mature works from the DC extended universe.
Exactly.
So I mean that it's been a bad year so far. It's not like what was it last year where you had Jurassic World was amazing and
Star Wars.
Star Wars was really good. I mean, I think if Rogue One is as good as it seems, we'll talk about that another time. So first we're going to do something new that we haven't done before. I'm calling it the second viewing revision, and it's after you've seen a movie a second time, you might notice something different from what you saw the first time. And we're going to do this only for movies that we've previously seen.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done on the show. So first off would be X-Men Apocalypse. You weren't here for the X-Men Apocalypse episode. What did you think
Of the
of the movie? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was okay. Like, I feel I give the movie like a solid 6.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't come out like angry at the movie because I was like, wow, that was dumb. But I didn't come out of the movie like, wow, I really liked that movie, or wanting to see it again. Really,
Yeah.
I feel if I'm not gonna buy this movie, probably, or so if it's on TV, maybe I'm like, oh, I kind of like this part. Maybe I'll watch this.
Mm-hmm. For me, there wasn't a part
it's
like
just
I
like
mean,
a movie
I think the
saw.
only thing like that for me with that movie would be the Wolverine sequence when he's
For
just
me, the
massacring
Quicksilver
people.
and the Quicksilver.
The second Quicksilver
Part two.
sequence was better than the first.
Yes, I like them both a lot.
Well, Evan Peters is a good actor too. Because that whole sequence is him acting without speaking.
Yeah.
Both times, he's just like emoting with his face entirely, and that it does take some skill to do that. But when me and Josie did this review initially, we called it. We asked the question: is it a Deus Ex Machina if they introduced the concept in a movie that was retconned out of existence? Because, as we know, the climax of the movie happens when Jean unleashes the Phoenix Force and kills Apocalypse with it. But earlier in the movie, there's something that I didn't notice. A friend of mine noticed and told me. When Apocalypse and the Horsemen are in the X Mansion, Apocalypse says all will be revealed.
Mm.
Then at the end of the movie, as he's dying, as Jean is liquidating his body, he says all has been revealed.
So, but is it for him, or is it just like he's sacrificed or something like that?
The way she interpreted it when she told me it was that he was referring to the Phoenix Force being awakened, like he knew it was there the whole time, and he's bringing it to the attention, and now everyone knows that, like everyone knows about it. The way I would interpret that is it's like bringing the mutants, that there is a dark side to the mutants, to the forefront.
My only problem with that is the character of Apocalypse, because the whole character is about self-preservation. So, like, why would he want to sacrifice himself just to show people that some mutants have a dark side? Because that's like the whole beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
to live forever.
I don't know. The whole movie is like rife with props. Even like the ending, it's like Magneto killed like 6 people in the beginning of the movie, and then it's like, okay, have fun, Eric.
Yep.
It's like, you felt sad about like destroying the world, so you're okay now. Like, what he did in this movie was arguably a lot worse than what he did in Days of Future Past, and he just gets away with it, and not even gets away with it, like he escapes. He gets like, okay, Eric, see you next time.
So see you next time you get mad.
Yeah.
My favorite part is when there's a giant metal tornado from Magneto.
Yes.
And then, what's her face? I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence's character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'll go stop him. And then she just... But then luckily Quicksilver helps her. Because it's like, what is she going to do?
And the thing is, too, through that entire sequence, it's just them standing on the edge of the bubble, just like, well, this sucks.
They're like, stop. And he's like, no. And
okay, we know what we can do.
And then Olivia Munn escapes, too. And she's just like...
Yeah, and then what was the other thing? There was one other thing that I just thought of with it. If I remember, I'll come back to it. But we have one other second viewing revision. You took off points from Civil War
Hmm.
for Bucky's quick turnaround.
Yes.
Um, in the movie, it's addressed. This quick
Hmm.
turnaround. I think I told you this when I first saw Civil War the second time back in May. Um, he has a journal that Steve finds when he goes to his apartment in one of those giant subtitled places that he lives. And I forgot, Budapest or something like that. I don't remember. But either way, they go in there, or Germany. It was somewhere in Germany, and
Yeah.
he opens up the book, and in the book, it's all about how his memories are coming back. And then when he comes in, he's playing dumb to like, 'cause he doesn't know how like he doesn't know what capacity Steve's there in. So it's a self-preservation kind of thing. So I think that's worth noting that we didn't quite catch the first time with Civil War.
Hmm. I think part of it is just I don't really care too that
Right.
plays the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So like
They
that
didn't
makes
really
sense.
build up the relationship that well in the first movie, considering they shipped off Bucky too quick. Then they come back, and then it's a montage, and he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So and then it's like, now he's my lifelong friend. If you have to tell that story in a flashback in the second movie, then you didn't do your job.
Yep.
So yeah. So then let's move on to Star Trek Beyond, or go back to that. This movie has had some share of controversy already. Did you know about that?
No,
Besides
I
the
know a
notes I
lot of
sent you?
people once this trailer came out, like already hated it.
Right. Do you know why?
No,
Okay. So Star Trek,
is it because it looked too much like Star Wars?
it looked too much like an action movie.
Oh, okay, that was it.
Um, Star Trek is more of like what science fiction always imagined itself to be,
Hmm.
where it's just grandiose, going through space and doing stuff, and like occasionally fighting aliens and like doing stuff like that. Not like Die Hard in space.
Yeah,
And the first trailer makes it look like they'll be that's the movie. It's a giant action movie. So fans of the series were like, "This is how you're going to do the 50th anniversary to the original series. Is you're going to completely shit all over Gene Roddenberry's original vision of the series." And then Simon Pegg came out, he's plays Scotty, and he's also one of the writers on the
hmm
movie. He comes out and says the trailer is a misrepresentation of what the movie is, and the next trailer you'll like better. So the second trailer comes out, and a lot of people liked it a lot better. Then the third trailer comes out, and there's a Rihanna song attached to it, which they don't know their market.
no,
I don't think people who are fans of the 50th anniversary of Star Trek and the fans of Rihanna quite overlap as much as I thought they did. Um, so that was not quite well received. Um, and there was one other controversy with this movie. Did you hear the other controversy with this movie?
nope.
It's a small thing. It's a little bit spoilery. It's not a big deal. Sulu's gay,
Ooh,
right? Then, which is fine, and a lot of people are like, oh, okay, it's a tribute to George Takei. Then George Takei came out and said, this is ridiculous. They made Sulu gay.
it was just like I hate gay people.
And people like viciously attacked George Takei for this. Because what happened, and he talked about his talks with J.J. Abrams, and he was like, when I spoke to Abrams, I said, why don't we create a new character for this one, and have him be gay instead of having an existing character be gay? Because this is the 50th anniversary movie. This is going to be the one. Like, this one, try to hold it as true to the original image as you can.
Yeah.
And J.J. Abrams said, yeah, I'll take that into consideration, and I made Sulu gay anyway.
For me, I'm fine with them kind of doing whatever they want because I know each series was different in a way, like of what they handled. So
Uh-huh.
why can't this one be the more actiony version of that?
Well, yeah. That's
They have to. That's part of getting a bigger market. They can't. If only people that like Star Trek went to see the Star Trek movie, then it would have failed. Then the only one of them.
yeah. I mean, I the thing is too. if they did a small budget Star Trek movie with the guy who directed Ex Machina,
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
that'd be cool. Um,
That would be a good one, like one of the episodes where they're really only on a ship,
yeah,
and like that's the only.
and they gotta it's a man against nature kind of thing where they just gotta survive on the ship.
Like the ship starts like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I don't think that actually does happen in an episode.
That happens in like everything.
Yeah. So critical
Is
reception.
William Shatner in this movie?
No, he's not.
Oh, I remember he was supposed to be.
Apparently, and I'm quoting here, William Shatner is too much of a dick to be in Star Trek anymore, so he's just not going to do that.
I love William Shatner. I saw William Shatner's one-man show, and it was just an hour of him sucking his own dick. Like, he was just like...
Nice.
It was just like his biography told on stage, and he's just like, I am an amazing person. Let's go through my life. And he sang some of the songs.
Yes.
Is Chekhov in this one?
What?
Oh yeah, he is in this one. Okay.
I don't think Leonard Nimoy is. Leonard Nimoy was in Into Darkness, but for like in a really weird sense, where it kind of takes you out of the movie. Do you remember the scene he was in?
Yes, it was very strange.
I
like Carl Urban. He's really good.
And then yeah, he is really good. So this movie's doing pretty well critically so far. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has a 70 on Metascore.
According to BoJack Horseman has a 94 on Metacritic so far. It has a 71 for me on Metacritic.
Oh, I do have a problem. My one problem with Star Trek Beyond, the trailer.
What?
It has a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, that wasn't a trailer for Star Trek Beyond.
Okay.
Like, it just seems a little bit annoying. Like, it seems like they're trying to prove something.
Well, they kind of have to. I think Star Trek does have a little bit of a stigma attached to it, more so than any other kind of science fiction franchise that's around today. And it's largely because of people like that skit that William Shatner did back in the day on SNL, where he's at the convention and he's like, "Don't you guys have lives? Like, why are you asking me these questions?"
And it also now has to get away from Star Wars.
Right.
Now that there's a new Star Wars, because a lot of people are going to be like, why is that different or something?
Yeah, exactly. And there is and the thing is too, making it more like an action movie takes away some of the differences.
Yes.
Because what Star Trek had going for it was that it was what's it called? It was less action, more showing. It was more like what's it called? It was like watching. Can you think of something that I could think
like
of?
A proceed. Like
what?
Law and Order almost.
Kind of. Oh yeah, something like that. Because it's about using your wits to what's it called, to get out of the situation and not just punch your way out of it.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's more. I feel like it's more character driven than Star Wars is.
Right.
Because I feel like Star Wars, like it's about a certain family's story, but not really about the actual person, just about how they learn how to use the.
Right. This one, they also ranked every Star Trek movie on Rotten Tomatoes. This one will be ranked between Wrath of Khan and First Contact for number 3 in top ranked. Number 1 being the reboot, number 2 being First Contact, this one being number 3, Wrath of Khan being number 4.
Which is the one that's William Shatner dies?
William Shatner dies. That one is...
Is that Generations?
Yes, Generations.
He talked about that at the one-man show, about what... Because they let him his final line.
Nice. But yeah, the worst one... Guess what the worst one is?
Is it the one... is it the one with the whales? Or is it the first Star Trek movie? I bet it's the first.
It's not the first movie. It is The Final Frontier.
I don't know what that was.
Let me take a look at what the plot's on. I don't remember which one each. Final Frontier.
It's the 5th one.
Right, it's the 5th one. It is. Where's my Rotten Tomatoes page?
This is one where they try to find God.
Okay, yeah, that explains it. Then Nemesis, then the motion picture, then Generations, then Insurrection, then Search for Spock. That's the first one that is positive. Positive. It goes 55% for Insurrection, and then 78% for Search for Spock. Then Undiscovered Country, um, then Voyage Home. That's the Whales one. Is Voyage Home.
This
Um,
one takes place like right after that one, and
what?
it's like this one takes place like it's after the fourth one,
Yeah.
and it's like they're trying to find God, but then they find an alien that's God, and then then Spock and McCoy betray Kirk for some
Um,
reason.
then Into Darkness, then Wrath of Khan, then the new one, then First Contact, then the remake or reboot. Um, so yeah, I think that's all the thoughts we have for. Would you have any thoughts going into it that we haven't quite addressed yet?
I think I'm gonna like it, but I feel like it might feel the same way as X-Men Apocalypse, but not really care.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to like it because I really want to watch all of Star Trek, but I know that's a very big feat.
That's a deep hole to drop yourself into.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I think it's gonna be like at worst, it's gonna be okay, and that's gonna be if that's the worst thing that the movie has going for it, then that's fine. Like, if this movie is at worst okay, then I'll be okay with this movie. Like, if that makes sense, I think it does. Um,
Do you
so
know that Nimoy had a favored nations clause in their contracts,
what does
which
that even mean?
means anytime that one of them got a pay raise, then the other one also got that at a different time. So it's like what the United States does to the Middle East, where they fund enemy nations, so they fight each other, but they're
Hmm,
always at a stalemate.
that sounds something new. So yeah, so we'll be back after the movie with our thoughts post movie, and we're gonna try to go back to doing what we stopped doing for a little bit while Peter was away, and we try to talk about something important with the movies and not just it was good. Um, and then we'll be back with that in a few seconds for you, a couple of hours for us.
Goodbye. Yes. Okay. It it met and exceeded my expectations. I really enjoyed it. Yep. I think can I talk about specific scenes? Okay. For me, the one part where in the beginning I was like, "Wow, this is fucking stupid," was when they're about to fight leave drums, and then they're like, like an FM radio frequency. So they play a sabotage, which is a little bit loose, because that's what they do. They're sabotaging me. Yes.
Okay, so sorry about that. We had a slight technical issue. Do you want to go back to what you were saying?
Okay, so I was talking about. Do you know what me up?
You were talking about how you thought the what's it called sabotage thing.
They play sabotage, and then they literally start surfing on a wave of enemy drone while they're all floating around. For me, it became so like liking it a lot. And I was like, that's retarded, but I love it.
Yeah,
And
what?
what?
That last part got cut off.
Yeah,
Wait, you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. For me, I thought that when they did that at the end, the thing with sabotage, I didn't think it was quite that cool. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know. I didn't like this movie that much. I think it just perfectly sums up what every problem we've been having this year so far is.
I liked it better than X.
Oh yeah, it was better than X-Men, but that's not that high of a bar. X-Men was probably the worst movie this year. Like it's just a little bit like what's it called? It I think the biggest problem that this movie really like has is that it tries to be both Star Trek and at the same time it also tries to like not be something new but be a blockbuster, which is not something that
Yeah, I think so.
because like I saw it with my dad. My dad was like, "There's no like they put back the story on the back burner for the entire thing," which not something you can really do with Star Trek.
Then one guy kept clapping.
Oh, I had that problem. I had not one guy kept clapping. I had like anytime Spock did anything remotely funny, someone would just like yeah. And I was like, okay, calm the fuck down. Like, there is a limit. Like you can like Spock, I get it, but like, calm down.
I'm assuming they're also fans of The Big Bang.
Probably like, oh, it's Sheldon.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what? I think that's our big thing coming out of this movie is that it's showing that like Star Trek is something that is I think in this current age not something that can be done in this like in a good like way, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Wait, in every movie now has the Enterprise been destroyed?
That's what my dad
And
said
for
too. Like,
the three new movies.
yeah, he's like they go through a lot of those ships. Like, why do they keep giving them to them?
Yeah, like when can you stop calling it the Enterprise?
Well, they went through a lot of it in not the original series, but in the original series of movies, they went through a lot, but not a lot of the same. Like, it was all like for a reason that they destroyed it, not for the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
The villains. I was like, the first villains. Idris Elba. At least I was like, wow, more backstory about him. This is weird. But then out of nowhere, he was entire backstory.
I don't think we needed backstory. I think if he was just a random alien creature who was basically just Malekith, that would have been fine. Like, where he's just like, I just want to save the universe.
A weird subtext where better. And he mumbles with a weird accent.
He sounded like General Grievous in the beginning.
Yeah. Especially because he kept like wheezing.
Yeah. I think what they need to do if they're going to continue doing Star Trek, which they will, but like further in the future, is really take a step back and see what it was that made the series great to begin with. Which, I mean, look, this movie's going to make a lot of money anyway because of how well it's received critically. So it's going to be a while before we get any solid, like, reboot in a way to fix these problems. But, what they need to do is they need to take a step back and look, like, it's story-driven, not, action-driven.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you want to talk about Finding Dory?
Oh, there's... Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else in this. Oh, yeah, I think Chris Pine, I think he looks like Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta?
Yeah.
I think he's
going to be kind of...
I don't think he's that good of an actor.
I think he's fine. But really, I've never seen him in anything else.
Well, he was in Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't watch. I also like how, like, almost every character, they're playing their own character that just happen to have the same name as, like, the first
and
series,
to also drop
except
the
for
inside jokes.
The guy that plays the Doctor. I feel like is trying to do the best impersonation of the guy that is the guy. But he's funny, so I allow it.
Yeah. He had the strongest performance in this movie. I think out of everyone,
Mm-hmm.
he had the strongest performance. Um, what would you give this movie as a final rating?
Hmm. I think a 7 out of 10.
I'd go 5.5. Did you want to talk about Finding Dory quick?
I really liked Finding Dory when I saw it. It made me rethink my favorite Pixar movies and like go back to how much I loved the original Finding Nemo.
Mm-hmm.
And part of why I loved Finding Dory is because it wasn't just a rehash of the Finding Nemo. I didn't just do the same thing over again. It was so in the beginning they set it up like you see Dory's backstory up until she meets Marlin, and then it's like 1 year later, and they all live together.
Right.
And then I keep setting up Dory is going to get lost and like to begin a movie. And wow, this is obvious. But then they completely don't do that, and they actually all travel together across the oceans. And then they get rid of the turtles out of the way really quickly. And then once the turtles like get them across the ocean where they need to go to San Diego basically, and then there's no the movie is none of the journey across the ocean. That's like 5 sides. Then the entire movie is this aquarium slash sanctuary where they're inside slash trying to rescue other fish and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. And my favorite animal is played by the guy who plays Phil on Modern Family, and he's a beluga whale. That his sonar is broken, but to get his sonar to work, he thinks he has to make a noise. So he like makes a screaming noise whenever he's using a sonar, and they like there's an exact map of around him. And he like zooms in and out of things with like by making zooming in noise. And then there's just like Octopus is funny too, who's also
Hank
Family.
from Modern Family.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. Like it's just all the characters you love, plus some more fun things.
Yeah, it's as I said earlier, it's been a very weak year for movies. That's not to disparage Finding Dory. That's just to say the movies that have come up this year have not been stellar, to say the least. But this is one of the strongest contenders for best movie of the year so far. That's not to say it's not gonna there can be something better at the end of the year when it comes Oscar season. But like even so, like, when I saw the coming attractions before this movie, they had a movie about Sully, which if Clint Eastwood's like previous directing endeavor is going to be talked about, it's going to be at least nominated just for his name. With he had American Sniper.
I heard about that.
But yeah, like that's a movie. And then there's a new Jason Bourne movie. There's a new Jack Reacher movie. There's like it's not a good.
That looks funny.
The new Jack Reacher movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that probably.
The trailer looks pretty funny. It looks pretty okay because it's just Tom Cruise punching people for 2 minutes.
It's like Mission Impossible if the character Mission Impossible didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Like, let me just punch.
If he just beat the shit out of people.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. It feels like it's just like you know why you're here. You just want to see Tom Cruise punch stuff.
Yeah, it's like why I want to see London Has Fallen.
Yeah. So if it weren't for the fact that the audio quality is having issue today, we would do our ranking. But I think we'll put that off till next time because A, it is incredibly late,
Okay.
and B, what's it called? We're having issues with the audio right now, and C, our next episode.
Yeah, my screen is just like loading also. It's weird.
Yeah. So our next issue, our next episode's in 2 weeks anyway. We're gonna be doing Suicide Squad. And then we have Suicide Squad.
Excited for that.
That should be a good one. Magnificent Seven, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So that'll be how we round out the year. So next time we'll do rankings and see where we would put various movies, and we're going to include in there Finding Dory and Zootopia, and then if you see any other movies, feel free to throw them on the list too. Like if you you saw The Witch, I didn't see The Witch. I might end up seeing Jason Bourne, so like I'll throw that on the list. So yeah,
that's good.
So we will be back next time with Suicide Squad.
Goodbye.